What's up everyone, this is Bill with BLR Tuning. You guys know what time it is. Today's watch is a Invictus Speedway. This is a limited edition collector's watch. It's got the blue carbon fiber with the resin inlay, blue knobs, yellow gold with stainless steel. Anyway, today I got a really good video for you guys. We are now launching our Stealth LED full-size kit. So this is for your full-size bikes. So this is going to fit your sport bikes and your naked bikes. The install that we're going to show today is going to be on the 2022 Kawasaki Z900 ABS. This will fit pretty much any naked bike. Obviously, your bike might vary from what we're doing the install on, but you'll get the idea and you'll get the gist of it. The whole goal behind our Stealth LED kits, just like what we did for the Riker, is to keep the lights hidden so you don't know they're there unless they're actually turned on. Right, that is the whole goal behind, our Stealth LED kits. We keep an eye on the channel. We will be coming out with Stealth LED kits for the mini bikes, like the Z125 and the Honda Grom, and then we'll also be coming out with Stealth LED kits for the Harley Davidson and Indian. Okay, so the price on this kit, we're gonna release it here on sale. It'll be $274.95, so $274.95. Okay, and that will get you everything you see laid out here. So it's 16 super bright waterproof LED light strips. These are RGB. You got the wireless remote. You can change color, strobe, breathing effects. It comes with the module. It does come with a toggle switch that you can hide anywhere on the bike. It'll require you to drill a small 6mm hole. It comes with your alcohol prep pads, your primer wipes, all your harnesses that you need to get all the wires plugged in. Right about 40 zip ties. It does come with a card that has instructions on how to apply the LED lighting and a QR code on the back that you can scan with your smartphone camera. And of course, it'll come with a couple of our decals. Okay guys, so the goal behind this kit was to make it as universal as we possibly could. Obviously, there's going to be lots of different bikes out there, and we wanted to make something that we know will work. So for your bike and your install, you may find that there is extra extension cables, maybe there's some extra splitters, and that's fine. We just wanted to make sure that you have everything that you could possibly do. So we went all out on the Z900. We used every bit of everything that you see here in the kit. The final product is absolutely nuts. The whole bike is illuminated. It lights up the ground below it. Looks crazy going down the road. So obviously this was meant for bike shows and that type of stuff, so use them at your own discretion, obviously. But the fact that you can change color to match your color scheme, this bike has the denim plastic on it with the bright yellow wheels. So we can change it to a yellow light and it looks really cool, or we can change it to the blue and match up with that denim color. You can adjust the brightness just by holding the A button down, so that'll change your brightness. If you're doing the strobing, hold the B button down. You can adjust the speed of the strobing. You can also click the B button to adjust to different tempos. So really cool kit. We're really excited to release this. We've been working on this for a very long time, and like I said, link in the description below. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do for your install is figure out where all your lights are going, disassemble whatever you need to disassemble, clean all those areas with a prep pad, and then prepare them with the alcohol primer wipe. I recommend cleaning with the alcohol prep pad, let it sit for 60 seconds, come back, use the primer wipe, clean the surface area where you're going to stick your LEDs, let it sit for 5 minutes, make sure it's warm to the touch, use a hairdryer or heat gun wherever you're putting your LEDs. The way that the naked bike is set up, going to be very similar to the sport bike, just obviously the sport bike's got more plastic. Okay, so we have a 6-inch LED under the battery tray. We have 13-inch LEDs under the upsweep frame bar. So you'll see what I'm talking about. Some other bikes it'll be called the subframe. Okay, on the Z900, that is this here, this frame that comes up. Okay, then below the tank on the frame, we have two 9-inch LEDs, one on each side, left and right. So that is going to be this bar here that we're talking about. And then we also have some up here. Okay, we got two 9-inch strips for the belly pan, left and right. So one on each side. And then underneath the swing arm, we have two 13-inch, one left, one right. Obviously, if you have a single-sided swing arm, you'll have an extra light left over. You can do something else with it or just not install it. We have two of the 5-inch on the upper fork. So that's going to be just in the middle of the triple tree. So that's going to be right back behind there, so you can see no matter what angle we look at it. We can't see it unless we actually try. Okay, then we have another 6-inch light under the, on this bike, it's going behind the windscreen. It's got a little short windscreen right behind, up above the headlight kind of. On your sport bike, put it behind the dash, so it kind of lights up inside that area in the fairing. Okay, and then we have underneath the front fender. So tucked up underneath the actual front fender, we have two 9-inch LED strips for that. And then underneath the front main plastic, when I say main plastic on the Z900, that is going to be this plastic here, right underneath it here on the actual plastic that stays on the bike. So you can still remove this, okay? We have a 9-inch on each side. Okay, so 16 lights in total. I'm going to show you how to install it here on the Z900. And then here, hopefully within the next week or two, we'll be doing an install on the CBR 1000 RR. Okay, and then we'll move on to Harley and the mini bikes. I'll shut up and get on with the install and show you guys. There's a link in the description below on how to tear down the Z900. So if you need to know how to tear this bike down all the way to the chassis, I do have a video. I'll put it in the link in the description below. I'm just trying to save some time here because this is going to be quite the install. On your sport bike, you're going to have to remove the fairings. We want all these lights to be behind the fairings and, you know, up on the framework and that type of stuff. So the goal is, if you stick it to a piece of plastic that comes off the bike, or that comes off the bike when you're doing maintenance, you want to make sure that you understand where the plug is going, and so you can remove that piece of plastic, unplug the LED light, and set the plastic aside. You don't want to get into, and that's why we use multiple plugs, and that's why we provide all of this and not just hardwire everything right to the main harness, is because we have maintenance in mind. A link in the description below to go purchase. It's www.BLRTUNING.TECH, and then you'll also see a link when these are available on our Etsy shop. They're going to be on our website on sale first at $274.95. That will be the sale price, so get them while they're on sale. If you need us to install them, we're located in Vancouver, Washington. We will do an install. So for that information, look in the description below. You'll see all of our contact information. You can always reach out to us, or just look us up on Google Maps, BLR Tuning in Vancouver, Washington. Okay, so let's hop over to the bike. This is our 2022 Kawasaki Z900 ABS. This is where we're going to be doing our install on, to show you how to install it on a naked bike. Obviously, some bikes are going to be different. Yours might have a single-sided swing arm. So these lights, you can put them where you want them. We're showing you what we designed the kit to do. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, you don't have to do it exactly like I'm showing in the video. Do what suits you best, but this is how we designed it so it'll light up the entire bike. Okay, so we are going to have lights that go under the fender. We're going to need to run wire along the brake lines there. You see, since this bike has dual calipers up in the front, we'll follow the lines right here. Keep in mind, we'll come out with an install video for the sport bike kit, and you'll see that, a link in the description as well, for the to purchase either kit. Okay, and then we will have... Okay, so we're going to need to break the bike down. We're going to be removing the windscreen. We have a light that goes behind there. We have lights that go right behind here. Okay, we have lights that are going to run along the frame here, in the front and the back, under the swing arm. Now, if your bike has a single-sided swing arm, you'll have a light left over. You can do whatever you want with it. Install it somewhere else if you'd like. So just keep that in mind, okay? We want to try to make this as universal and appealing to all audiences as we can. So that is the challenge with manufacturing something, right? You don't want to make it for one bike specifically. You want to make sure it works for all bikes. Okay, so we'll need to remove the seat. We'll need to remove the rear cowl. We'll need to remove these plastics here and this plastic panel here. We are going to avoid taking off the gas tank I'm going to try to make this install as simple as possible for anybody to do it with basic tools. Okay, on this left-hand side, we do have lights that go into the belly pan down here. Okay, our toggle switch, it will kill power to the module, and the reason for the toggle switch is so the module is not killing the battery 24/7. If you were to just hook this module straight to, or any LED module, right, especially if it uses Bluetooth, or like these use a wireless remote, if you hook it straight to the battery, if this bike sits for about a week, it's probably going to kill the battery even though the lights were off, and we don't want that. So that's why we run a toggle switch. The toggle switch means on the fly, I can be riding, I can flip on the toggle switch, and my lights will come back on to whatever I had them set at last. It has a memory, okay? If the toggle switch is off, we're killing power completely. We don't got to worry about the battery going dead. Okay, guys, so we have the Z900 stripped down, get all the plastics off of it. We don't need to take the tank off. We can get along the side of the frame here. It's a nice thing about a naked bike. You don't have to take it apart as much as a sport bike. So the first thing we're going to need to do is two things, I guess. We need to figure out where we want to mount the module that comes in the box. You'll see it has a red wire coming off of it with a fuse. That is an inline fuse. Those just unscrew. You'll see an extra fuse in the box, okay, in case that one blows on you. So this is going to go to positive on the battery, and then this ground wire is where our switch is going to plug in. So we have our toggle switch right here. You see I took the nut and washers off of it. And this little terminal on the end of the switch, that is going to go to a chassis ground. This bullet connector, it does have dielectric grease in it. Okay, they're all going to come like that. So if you see a little bit of grease, don't wipe it off. That's fine. That's to keep it waterproof. So that bullet connector is what's going to come back to this ground wire here. So we need to plan out where we are mounting that so it doesn't get squished when we put our seat on, and so it's not going to interfere with any moving parts. We need to be able to connect that, and then we need to be able to figure out where we're going to put our switch. Okay, our toggle switch, this is going to need a 6mm drill bit. It's right about 5.9mm. A 6mm drill bit will work just fine. On this bike, we are going to install the toggle switch on the left side right here. So we need to be able to get behind there and take a look at everything and make sure there's nothing behind there. Okay, that's why we wanted to build a kit that uses this type of toggle switch, is so it's very universal. You can hide this wherever you want, but the goal is to be able to get to it while you're sitting on the bike. You'll notice there's a little X on the toggle switch that is showing which way is the on position. So like that, this is sitting up, that is on. If I flip it down, that is off. Okay, so you can mount it in there however you'd like and whatever orientation you'd like. Just remember which way you orientated it on your bike. Okay, so let's drill our hole, run the wire back along the frame, and zip tie everything out of the way. You'll see plenty of zip ties in the box. Okay, you can see there I got my little 5.97mm hole, just almost 6mm hole, and you can see how the switch fits in there nice and snug. Okay, we're obviously going to be feeding it in from the backside, but we just wanted to test the fitment. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this big washer on here. We're going to stick it through, and we can adjust this nut here to the depth of the plastic so we don't have a bunch of this sticking out. Okay, so we want to go this washer on the backside, so it's going to come through, and then we'll be going with this little washer. The teeth, you'll see it's kind of indented. The teeth go towards the plastic, and then this little nut. This will dig into the plastic and keep the switch from spinning around on you. Okay, so you can see how we have our toggle switch ran, and now we have a grounding point right here. You can use any chassis ground. You want to make sure we're grounded right to the frame. Okay, so that is the excess wire, so we're going to just coil that up in this little pocket and zip tie it up out of the way. Here's our other wire with our bullet connector that we need to run along the frame and zip up any excess wire. And then on this bike, our module is going to fit right back in this hole. So we'll be able to get it right back inside that hole. Obviously go to our power and then plug into our ground wire coming back. And when the toggle switch is on, it is now touching ground. And then we can also plug in one of our LED lights here, and we can test the whole thing and make sure everything works that's the place where we want to start at. Okay. Our module fit right in there. And now we have you can see the plug coming off the module. And we just plugged in one of our light strips. So now we can flip our switch on. You see it's coming on. It's going to test and make sure everything works. And then it goes to the color that you had it on last. Here's our remote. So we change it to this bright blue. And now if we kill our power, you see we killed power with the switch. When we turn it back on, it'll test. It'll come back on to the color that we left it at. We can turn it off from here. And now our toggle switch is still on, but we have access to the remote. Okay guys, I thought I'd show you the progress here. Like I said, we started at the back end, worked on the swing arm. So we have two 13-inch LED strips ran underneath the back portion at the bottom of the swing arm. So we have those on each side. We've made the decision that we're going to hide all of our wiring right here in this little pocket because we have plastic that covers that. So here's our 8-way splitter, and it's all going to get zip tied and tucked out of the way up here. So that's where all of our wire needs to come to plug into this. We want to keep maintenance in mind. So if you need to uninstall, let's say we need to change out the chain or something like that, we want to keep maintenance in mind and know where our plugs are so we can unplug things and take that piece off with the light still stuck on it. That's the goal, okay? That's why we do the kits like this where they have multiple parts where they plug in instead of running one solid wire all the way up, because then you have to cut the wire or peel the LED strip off, then it's not usable anymore, okay? So obviously on your sport bike, you're gonna have a lot more room to hide wiring and that type of stuff behind the plastic. Just keep in mind heat, stay away from the exhaust. So you can see our swing arm on the chain side, or our LED light on the chain side, it comes up and it comes out right here. Okay, so it's gonna be in between the chains. So we wanna zip tie it securely right there on the bar. And then, you know, and wherever suits best on your bike. You know, you may not be doing this on a Z900. So you're gonna have to take that into perspective. You need to zip tie that wire out of the way so it can't get dragged across the chain. Then you can see I have them joined over there and they run up on the right side. We also have a 5-inch. So those are both 13-inch, okay? You got 13-inch, 5-inch, and 9-inch in the set, okay? So this is a 5-inch underneath the battery tray right here, just to light up this area. And its wire comes out and gets hidden right over here. The wire from our module comes out and goes back here and plugs into this 8-way splitter, and that's how it gets power. Okay, you do have a 13-inch strip that runs up the frame rail right here, this lower portion of the rear frame. So the rear part of the frame, you have a 13-inch. It needs to be sitting at an angle, facing at an angle towards down, but back. So if you have it up on the back side, when I'm standing up here, I'll be able to see it. And if I have it on the bottom, when I'm standing next to the bike out to the side, I'll be able to see it. So we want it right at the back portion, all the way up to here, okay? Same on the other side. Again, you can't even see it, but there's a 13-inch strip back here behind that bar, okay, this frame rail. And then one under the swing arm. Okay, you see it there? Our wires come up and go to a Y splitter for the swing arm. And then our wire comes down for this 13-inch bar here to right here. And we're going to use a second Y splitter, plug it into that Y splitter and into our 13-inch piece from here. And then a 20-inch extension to go up and over the gas tank up here and over to this side where we're plugging everything in. Okay, so on this side, you're going to be using the two Y splitters and a 20-inch extension. Okay, and then I'll show you what this looks like when I flip it on. Okay guys, so remember when you're sticking these LED strips down, you're gonna prep everything with the alcohol pad, let it sit for about 3 minutes or so, then come back with the primer wipe, let it sit for 5 minutes, okay? Then heat everything up, or if it's already hot out in your area, then apply your LED strips. Okay, so I'll show you guys what this looks like with it on, with everything we have done, just the rear so far. Go ahead, turn it on. Okay, it's gonna come on and test everything. And there you go, you got the whole rear of the bike lit up. Even on the ground below it. Like I said, it's got the memory, so the lights, you can leave it on. The lights come on to whatever we had them at last. So you can see how that looks. Yeah, so the next part we're gonna work on here, we're gonna have 4 9-inch strips. So we're gonna have a 9-inch strip that goes from here up into this area to light up this mid area. and then we're gonna have a 9-inch strip that curves up along this plastic. Okay, it'll get hidden behind the plastic, but it'll light up this whole area. So we need our wire to run down the frame towards the middle so we can hop it over to the other side and plug it in. Okay, so we'll be using extensions, and I'll cover that as soon as we get it all plugged in and ran. Okay, I just want to show you guys this little trick here. So as you can see, we have this curved and fitting that shape. We got this warm, we put the LED strip on, we held a little pressure on it, and stays in that shape. So our wire runs up over the frame, it'll get dropped down behind and zip tied to this wire harness here. And then if you look right here, you can get to the other side of the tank, okay, over to that left side. So the trick that I use is one of these. Okay, it's a little claw, flexible. So I'll put a 20-inch extension wire on the one that is running right here, and then I'll feed it through, which is what I've done. So now you'll see, we hop over to the other side. Here's that one. Now we can unplug that extension and use it for that other side, because that other side will need it since the wire is up further. Okay, so this one doesn't need a 20-inch extension, so we can actually unplug this, and this will plug right into our 8-way splitter. Okay, now that 20-inch extension wire gets plugged in, because this is going to be a little short. We'll zip tie our wire out of the way, and we'll feed this to the other side as well, so it'll stick out the other side, and we'll be able to plug in to that 8-way splitter. Okay, so you're just going to be using that one 20-inch extension on this side. Okay, and that'll be for this lower, or excuse me, that'll be for this upper light. Okay guys, so if you did everything correctly, you should have this mess over here, everything coming out in the same area so we can tuck it behind the plastic. You should have one left after plugging in all those lights, and that one is going to go to another one of these 3-way splitters. Okay, your wires for your belly pan are going to plug in to one of these, so 1 and 2, left and right. That's going to be our belly pan, and then this one will be for our front. We're going to have one wire coming off for all the front lights. That's going to come back to here and plug into this extra one that we have, and that'll use up all your plugs. Okay. Okay, so you can see we have that wire, that light behind the frame, the one that's tucked under there. You can see really starting to light up the entire bike. Same thing over here. Okay, so once we put our plastics back on, it's going to look really sharp. I'm going to move on to the belly pan. This one, we're going to run the wire. We're going to stay away from the exhaust. We're going to stay up kind of high. We're going to run the clean back there, run our strip, and our wire can run right here with this wire and come up and get fed through. We'll be using an extension right here to get it through. Then we will plug in over here to our 3-way splitter. And then this belly pan light will come up right here. We're kind of back behind. You can see the wires here. So it'll get zip tied and run up there and come out behind here. And it'll get plugged into our 3-way splitter. Okay. Okay, remember the lights that go under in the belly pan area are going to be the 9-inch. And this is going to be whether you have the sport bike or the naked bike. Okay guys, so on doing the belly pan, this is the left side. And it's going to sit on the bike like this. Okay, so what we took it off because you can't get your hands up inside here. On a sport bike, you'll be able to do one on the left and one on the right inside your belly pan. Just keep it as far away from the exhaust as you can. On this, on the Z900, we needed to be able to get in here. You have this fin here, so we can't go down low, and we kind of want our lights angled down so we can't see them from the top. So this is what it's going to look like. You won't be able to see them until they're turned on, so that's going to be really good. And then we do have a wire harness right underneath the bike there, so we'll run up and plug it into our 3-way splitter. Okay guys, so now we have the belly pan back on the bike. You can see what this looks like when we flip that on. You can see what that bright blue lights up the whole ground underneath the bike. So we got the left side and the right side done. You can see how everything looks. We're going to move up to the front. Okay, so at the front of the bike, we're going to install all the lighting, and then we're going to be connecting them together, and we're going to try and squeeze everything back behind in here, everything that we can, you know, back in here in this empty space. So all of our connections come together, and so we just deal with one wire coming out of the front end to go back down to our connection. We have 5 lights in total. So if you turn the bars, we have the 5-inch strips that are going to go here. Okay, they're actually like almost 6-inch, I believe, but we're calling them 5-inch. If you hear me say 6-inch, I'm talking about, they're the same ones. They're the smaller lights that are in the box, okay? They're going to go inside of here. We're going to put them on the back side, kind of, so you can't see them unless they're on. Okay, so one on each side there. Then we have one that's going up inside of here, along this bar up inside here. On your sport bike, this would be below your gauge cluster somewhere, so it's lighting up that inside of that fairing. Okay, and then the 2 that are going inside the fender, they're going to go on the edge as far out away from the center of the tire as we can get them. Okay, so as far out this way, and they're going to run from the front where we can't see it, just under the lip here, all the way back. Our wire is going to be pointing back towards the bike, so we can run it over here to the ABS line, jump it over, and then we'll hop the other one over and we'll run those wires up the ABS line. Okay, so, and for you guys that are wondering about the fenders, if you don't want to put them up here, you don't have to. This is where we're going to run them. The Grom there, the kit that we're coming out with for the Grom, that's had fender lights underneath the fenders for about 8,000 miles. And we've never had an issue with them once. So, okay, so that's where they're going to go. So we'll install these and the 3 up on the front, and then I'll show you how all that looks, okay? Okay, so we're all done with the front end. You can see we got this wire right here to run. So what we did is we used the other 8-way splitter up here, and all 5 of our lights come in, and they're going to get tucked back behind here. So all 5 lights plug into this 8-way splitter. Obviously, you'll still have a few left over. We can add more lights if we want to later on. And then that wire needs to get ran up along the frame and plug in here, and we just swapped so we have enough wire to run up here. So our 3-way splitter is over here. We just swapped one of the plugs around. Okay, so that's all going to get tucked behind our plastic and zip tied out of the way. And you can see how we did the lights up here. So we got them back at an angle behind the front fork up here in between the triple tree. And then that's on each side. And then we did one that's up inside of here, behind here. So that's kind of lighting up this whole area here. And then we did the ones under the fenders. So under the fender, as far to this edge as we can get. It's not anywhere near touching. See if we can see the actual light. Not really. Not really. It's hitting up there pretty good. But, so that's what we did there. And then it's all ran back along here with your ABS lines. So we used one of the 20-inch extensions for coming from the other side. And we just zip tied it right along the ABS line. You can see here. And goes up under the fender, up under the headlight. You can see how this just comes right out and goes straight to here. So it's zip tied tight so it can't touch the tire. It's got plenty of clearance. Then we just followed that ABS line up with those wires and zip tied them. And now we just got to tuck all of our wiring and put it all back together. So I'll show you, the next clip I show you will be with everything all tucked in, and we'll show you what it looks like at night. Have all the plastic back on. You can see how everything came out. So like I was saying, everything is hidden really good. So when the lights are off, you would never know that there's any lights on this bike. And then when you turn them on, the entire bike glows, even the ground underneath of it, in the front and the back. You see you got this whole area up here lit up, on top of the fender, below the fender. So everything lights up really nice. We got our switch all in there. So the other side looks. You can really see that blue. That's why I use this color on camera, because you can see it the best on the ground and everything. But as you can see, very well lit up. So I'll walk it outside. We'll do a little pan around the bike so you guys can see what it looks like at night outside. But there'll be a link in the description. This kit will fit your sport bike, your full-size sport bike, and your full-size naked bike. Okay, so we'll be doing an install on a sport bike. We have a CBR 1000. You guys have probably seen the build on my YouTube channel. We'll be installing this same kit on that bike and showing that on an install. If you want to purchase the kit, feel free to go ahead and hit the link down below in the description. You can purchase it and put it on your bike. It comes with the wire harness, comes with the module, wireless remote. Okay, multiple functions on the remote. You can change color. You can make it strobe. You can have it breathe. If you go cycle through the colors, you'll get to where it starts flashing different colors. So it can do bright white. So really awesome kit. Okay. Be a link in the description below. We'll go outside here and we'll get some shots of what it looks like at night. I'll put the price up on the screen here. The thing to remember here is you can put these on your bike. This is an example as to where I put them. If I was to install it on another naked bike, this is how I'd do it. On a sport bike, lights like this back here on the frame, this one up here, they would go on the edge of the plastics on the inside. So we wanted, the idea is when you're looking at the bike, you shouldn't be able to see the lights. When you turn it on, every hole, every little crack and crevice should light up. Below the bike, get that to light up. So, you know, you gotta use your imagination when you're doing the install. Maybe this light won't fit back here in the same spot. Maybe your frame is a little different, you know. So this kit comes with 16 LEDs, so 16 individual strips ranging 13-inch, 9-inch, 6-inch. Can pretty much work on any bike. We just know that it will install on the naked and it will install on the sport bike. We've already done all of our measuring. So the harness that has the switch, all that comes in the kit. You'll need to drill that 6mm hole. But anyways, enough talking, guys. I appreciate you guys watching the video and sticking around for the install. If you want one of these, check the links in the description below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. We'll do a little montage here going around the bike and showing you guys what it looks like. Peace.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss that stack, taking big swings, each hand to the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how is it supposed to feel?